Okay, today I thought I'd show you how to use different blurs in Procreate to give a sense of motion. Here's a simple car drawing I did, and I want it to look like it's moving really fast. So I'm going to go into layers and duplicate that layer. I'm going to go to the bottom layer. Then I'm going to go to the magic wand in the top left, which is called the adjustments menu. And I'm going to choose motion blur. Motion blur lets you blur something in any direction you drag your pencil or your finger. So if I drag up and down, the blur goes up and down. If I drag diagonally, the blur goes diagonally. And in this case, I'm going to drag it left to right, so that the blur, it looks like it's going left to right. Next, I'm going to drag the arrow, get the arrow tool, and I'm going to drag this blur to the left, almost to where it disappears on the right and goes more on the left. And there's a little bit there on the right still, so I'm going to take the eraser and erase any of that blur that's still there on the right. Because if it's driving forwards, there wouldn't be a blur in the front, it'd be a blur in the back. So just like that, I have a quick motion blur behind the car, and it looks like the car is kind of moving to the right. I'm going to add a little more of a blur to it, so I'm going to go back into my layers, go to that original layer and duplicate it again. Just like before, I'm going to go to the layer underneath. This time I'm going to do the arrow tool first. So I'm going to grab the arrow tool and drag that layer and that car to the left a little bit, just so it's a little bit past the car. I'm just going to blur the edge of the black back side of the car. So I'm going to go to the magic wand again. This time I'm going to do a Gaussian blur. And I'm going to blur the edge of the car, so the back of the car now looks like it's fuzzy, like it's kind of a fuzzy sense on the back of the car, so it looks like it's moving even more. And that's pretty much it. It's a quick, easy way to use blurs to get a sense of motion on something. If I had a background to this and other things, it would even have more of a sense of emotion. But that's how you can use motion blur and Gaussian blur to get a sense of motion in your Procreate drawings. Thanks for liking this video, subscribing, ringing that bell, and I'll see you next time.